If your boss asked for a status report right now, how long would it take you? If you said under a minute, you're in the 1%. Everyone else takes between 30 minutes and 2 hours. I've watched it happen in every team I've worked with. Mine takes 28 seconds. Not because I type faster. I built this. I call it a skill, and it's the first rung of what I call the skill ladder. 3 rungs. We built the first one today, on camera, in 20 minutes. The third rung is the one that gives you Mondays back. Last video, week 2, part 2, we built a project so Claude remembers your job. This is week 3 and we go one step up. We teach Claude to actually do the boring task for you, not just remember the context, execute the work. That's the skill ladder. Friday 4 p.m., you know the feeling. Tabs open in Notion, Slick pinging, cursor blinking. The dance starts. Type, delete, retype, dig up, last Friday's version, tweak the dates. 45 minutes. The cruelest part, your manager reads it in 9 seconds, not because they're rushed. The 9 bullets are the same ones they read last Friday. 37 hours a year rewriting what your manager skims like a marketing email. That's the Friday tax. We kill it today. Before I explain what a skill is, let me show you one. I type weekly status. 2 words. Claude reads my Notion, formats 9 bullets, hands them back, ready for Slack. 28 seconds. That's a skill running. Now let's crack it open. 3 parts, stacked like a recipe. Part 1. The trigger. Those 2 words I typed. Weekly status. They're not a question. They're a button. I told Claude that whenever it sees exactly those 2 words, run this task. That's the part you define, your shortcut. Part 2. The description. Plain English instructions you write once. What data to look at, what to do with it, what format to return. You don't rewrite this every Friday. It lives in Claude's memory, not in your keyboard. Part 3. Optional, but is what unlocks the higher rungs. Access to your work apps through something called MCP. Think of it like this. The skill is the recipe. The MCP is the kitchen connected to it. Notion, Slack, Sheets, Calendar. Recipe alone gives you text. Recipe with kitchen gives you finished work. The shift versus a normal prompt. A prompt is something you write fresh every time. A skill is something you write once and call forever. If you are rewriting the same task every Monday, those are hours you owe yourself. Mechanically, you type the trigger, Claude matches it, loads the recipe, calls the apps if it needs them, returns the formatted result. Seconds. That's the base of the ladder. Now we climb. Rung 1 of the skill ladder. Text only skills. These don't touch any of your apps. They just transform text you give them. Setup is 0 because there's no kitchen to plug in. Just a recipe reshaping text. No permissions, no API keys, no consent step. Works on any cloud account, free or pro. The easiest first rung, 3 examples in 15 seconds each. Example 1. Meeting recap. You paste a Zoom transcript. Skill returns a clean recap with decisions, action items, and owners. 5 seconds. Example 2. Email decompressor. You paste the angry email you wrote at 4 p.m. Skill returns 3 calmer versions, ranked by how blunt they are. You pick. 5 seconds. Example 3. Brief translator. You paste your manager's vague, can you look into this message? Skill returns a structured work plan plus the 4 questions you should ask before you start. 5 seconds. 3 skills. Same pattern. Text in. Formatted text out. Here's how you build one right now. Open Claude. Skills menu. New skill. Name it meeting recap. Trigger phrase meeting recap. One sentence description. Given a meeting transcript, return a clean summary with decisions, action items, and owners. Save. 2 minutes from call. That's room 1. Most office workers should build their first one here today before lunch. Room 2. Single-MCP Skills. Disconnect a skill to one of your work apps. Remember the recipe and kitchen metaphor from a minute ago. Room 2 is where we plug the kitchen in. I'm building this from scratch in the Atlas workspace, fictional B2B SaaS company. Sarah Chen runs customer success. Same Sarah from last video. Step 1. Open the skills menu inside Claude. Click Create New Skill. 3 fields open up, and this is the part most people get wrong, so watch. First field, name. I call it weekly status, lowercase with a dash. That's the handle Claude uses internally, not a label for me. Second field, Description. This is one sentence that tells Claude when to use this skill. I write, generate weekly status reports from recent work, use when asked for updates or progress summaries. That's it. Short, because Claude reads this to decide if your message is a match. Third field, instructions. This is the recipe, the part you carry from session to session. I passed 5 lines. Watch what's in them and why. First line. Pull all tasks from my Notion Sprint task database with a due date in the current week. I name the exact database. No assumption Claude will find it. And current week means the skill auto updates every Monday. I never touch it again. Next, group them into 4 sections. Ship this week, in progress, blocked next week. That's the exact format my manager already expects. The skill matches what's in his head, not mine. Maximum 9 bullets total. Hard limit. Without this, Claude goes to 20 bullets and the report bloats. Tone. Matter of fact, no hype, no emojis. Because without this, Claude adds rocket ships my manager has. Last line. Format ready to paste into Slack. I tell Claude the format of the destination, not the source. That's the whole trick. Click create. Notification, created weekly status. The skill is live in my menu. Now the part every tutorial skips. Step 2. Test the skill. Open a fresh chat. And here's where I'm going to be honest about how I actually use this. I don't type the trigger phrase. I just talk to Claude naturally. I type, "Hey Claude, I just added the weekly status skill. Can you make something with it?" Why? Because the description field already tells Claude when to fire this skill. So I let Claude match it. That's how you'll use skills in your real life. You won't memorize triggers. You'll just ask, send. Claude finds the skill, starts reading the instructions, starts looking for the Notion database, and then it fails. Claude says, and I'm paraphrasing, I identified the skill but I can't reach Notion. This is a lesson almost no tutorial mentions. A skill is just a recipe. If the kitchen, the MCP for the app isn't plugged in, the skill can't reach the ingredients. The skill itself is fine, the connection isn't. 2 minute fix. Step 3. Settings. Connectors. Find Notion. Click Grant Access. Pick the workspace Indispensable AI demo. Pick which read and write permissions you're okay with. I approve. Done. From now on, every skill in my account that needs Notion can use it. Step 4. Back to the chat. New chat actually. Fresh start. Same conversational prompt. Send. This time Claude finds the skill, finds Notion, reads each task one by one. Output grows in front of me. 4 sections. Tasks in the right buckets. Matter of fact tone. No emojis. Copy. Paste into Slack. Done. Total time from clicking new skill to working version. About 5 minutes, including the reconnect detour. Next skill you build, the kitchen is already plugged in. Drops to 2 minutes. The third one, you copy the pattern of the first and it's 90 seconds. That's wrong too. One skill, one app, one outcome, replicated every week forever. Rung 3. Multi-MCP Skills. This chain multiple tools in one trigger. The ceiling of the ladder. Imagine you type plan tomorrow. One skill fires. It reads your calendar to see what meetings you have. Pulls related email threads from Gmail. Drops briefings into the right Notion page for each meeting. Post the daily agenda into your team Slack channel. 4 apps moving. One sentence from you. 12 seconds end to end. What it kills. The morning tags. The 45 minutes of tab switching, copying context between apps, forgetting which thread belongs to which meeting. Multi-MCP collapses all of it into one trigger. I'm not building this one today. That's the entire week 4 video. We set up the multi-MCP stack from scratch and built 3 of them. But you need to see it now, because Room 3 is where skills stop being a feature and start being your operating system. The Friday tax was the smallest one. There are bigger taxes higher up the ladder. Before the 3 mistakes, the proof. Same person, same goal, Monday morning, 10 a.m. Status report needs to go out. 2 parallel lives, without a skill, fresh chat. You write 300 words of instructions. What a status report is. The 4 sections, the exact names, the rules. Max 9 bullets, no emojis, matter of fact tone, ready for Slack. Then you copy each task from Notion by hand. 10 tasks formatted with status and owner. You send. Claude returns something. It rewrote your task names. It combined 2 blockers into 1 bullet because that felt natural to it. It dropped the project column because you forgot to specify it. The output is usable but not yours. 5 minutes minimum. Every Monday. Next Monday, you write a slightly different prompt and the format drifts. With a skill, open Claude, type weekly status, enter. Output appears. 4 sections, 9 bullets. Your task names, your project column. Your exact tone, copy, paste, done. Same person, same Monday, same report. 5 minutes of setup versus 4 words. Claude making 20 interpretation decisions for you versus 0. And next Monday, identical to today's. That's the part nobody talks about, drift. When you reprompt every week, the output shifts. Your manager notices. The skill doesn't drift, it does the same thing forever. That's what every rung of the ladder replaces. Not your thinking, not your judgment. The mechanical re explanation of how you want the work done. 3 mistakes that kill your first skill. Fast. 1. Vague description. The description field tells Claude when to fire the skill. If it's too generic, Claude fires it for any vaguely related ask and mixes in other skills it shouldn't. I once wrote generate a status report on any topic. Claude pulled in 3 other skills to help and built me something I never asked for. Be specific in the description. Name the data source, name the exact trigger condition. 2. Instructions that assume fields that don't exist. I once wrote group results by team. My database had no team field. Claude didn't ask. It silently mapped team to project and gave me an answer that looked right but wasn't what I asked for. Read the output carefully. If you say a column name in the instructions, that column has to exist in the database. 3. Trusting it after one test. Same skill, same data, same prompt, different output. Monday I got clean text. Friday, Claude added emojis I never asked for and decorative separators I didn't write. The skill doesn't randomize the data, but it drifts on style. Test the same skill 3 times across a week. If the output shifts, log the description tighter. Be explicit about what's not allowed. Notice the pattern. All 3 mistakes are silent. Claude doesn't error. It just gives you something that looks right and isn't. Read the output every time, especially the first few weeks. If you build a skill from this video, any wrong, drop it in the comments. Trigger phrase plus 1 sentence on what it does. I read every one. Best one I pin and feature in next week's video. If your skill broke at the consent step, the description, or the test, comment which one. I reply to those first. And if you don't use Notion, the same recipe works with Sheets, Linear, Asana, anything Claude has an MCP for. Change one line in the description. 2 wrongs climbed today. Your first text only skill before launch, and you saw what a single MCP skill looks like when it runs. The third rung, Multi-MCP, is where 4 apps move on 1 sentence. That's all of week 4. Set up from scratch. 3 skills built, 10-minute install, hours back every week. Subscribe so it shows up when it drops Wednesday. See you on the third rung.